Ever heard the story of the billionaire who lives like an average person? Old car, instant noodles, modest house? The legend isn't about eccentricity, it's about a mindset. Making money work for you, not the other way around. Billionaires don't just have more money, they play a different game entirely. They see wealth as a strategic game of assets, not just paychecks. The flashy lifestyles you see online, that's just the surface. The real wealth building happens in the background: tax codes, investments, and legal strategies. These aren't illegal secrets, they're just complex, and most people never learn them. The best part? Anyone can start applying these principles, no matter their income. The media loves to show billionaires. They are a constant source of fascination, and their actions are often scrutinized under a microscope. We see their faces plastered across magazine covers and news websites, their names echoing through financial reports and social media feeds. But how accurately does the media portray the financial realities of the ultra-rich? As either heroes or villains, painting them with broad strokes of admiration or condemnation. One day, they're celebrated for their philanthropic endeavors and innovative business strategies. The next, they're vilified for alleged tax evasion or perceived exploitation of workers. This binary portrayal, while attention-grabbing, often misses the complexities of their financial lives. But the truth is more nuanced. The financial world of billionaires operates on a different plane than that of the average person. It involves intricate networks of investments, complex tax strategies, and a deep understanding of global markets. To truly grasp their financial realities, we need to move beyond simplistic narratives and delve into the underlying mechanisms that govern their wealth. When you hear a billionaire made $5 billion in a day, it's crucial to understand what that statement actually means. The media often reports these figures without providing the necessary context, leading to misconceptions about how wealth is accumulated and managed at the highest levels. It's not cash, it's the value of their assets going up on paper. This distinction is paramount. Billionaires don't typically have billions of dollars sitting in a bank account. Their wealth is primarily tied to the value of their investments, which can fluctuate significantly based on market conditions and other external factors. Their wealth is mostly tied up in stocks and businesses, representing ownership stakes in companies and other ventures. These assets are not easily converted into cash and are subject to market volatility, not in bank accounts. The liquidity of their wealth is often far lower than the reported figures might suggest. That's why they don't pay taxes on unrealized gains. These gains are merely theoretical increases in value until the assets are actually sold. They haven't sold anything yet. The tax implications only arise when the assets are liquidated, triggering a taxable event. The tax code favors capital gains and asset growth, creating a system where wealth accumulation is incentivized through investments rather than traditional income, not salaries. Income from wages and salaries is typically taxed at a higher rate than capital gains, further contributing to the wealth gap. Billionaires use the system legally, employing sophisticated strategies to minimize their tax burden and maximize their wealth accumulation, deferring taxes and growing wealth efficiently. This involves leveraging tax loopholes, investing in tax-advantaged accounts, and strategically managing their assets to minimize tax liabilities. The real lesson isn't about outrage. Focusing solely on the perceived unfairness of the system distracts from the underlying principles that drive wealth creation. It's about understanding how money, assets, and taxes interact. By gaining a deeper understanding of these dynamics, individuals can make more informed financial decisions and work towards building their own wealth, regardless of their starting point. Instead of focusing on headlines, which often sensationalize and oversimplify complex financial matters, learn how the system works. Take the time to educate yourself about financial principles, investment strategies, and tax laws. The ultra-wealthy master the rules, dedicating significant time and resources to understanding the intricacies of the financial system. Most people never bother to read. This lack of financial literacy puts them at a significant disadvantage. That's the real advantage. It's not about luck or privilege alone, it's about knowledge and understanding. By investing in financial education, anyone can gain a competitive edge and improve their financial outcomes. The myth: a high salary equals wealth. In reality, even six-figure earners can struggle if they only trade time for money. Salaries have a ceiling and taxes take a big bite. Billionaires focus on building assets, businesses, investments, real estate that generate income without their constant effort. The shift is from employee to owner. Use your job to fund asset purchases, not as your sole wealth source. Start small. Invest in index funds, launch a side hustle, or buy a rental property. The goal is to build income streams that don't depend on your daily grind. Your job is a tool for wealth, not the destination. What separates the ultra-rich from the rest of us? Is it some closely guarded secret, a hidden formula passed down through generations? The truth is far simpler and perhaps more frustrating. Billionaires don't need secret codes. There's no handshake, no exclusive club membership that unlocks the doors to unimaginable wealth. They simply read the tax code. They understand it, they dissect it, and they use it to their advantage. It's not about cheating the system. It's about knowing the rules of the game better than anyone else. The tax code, often perceived as a complex and daunting document, is actually a roadmap, a set of guidelines that, when understood, can lead to significant financial benefits. The government, in its effort to stimulate economic growth, rewards business creation and investment with tax breaks. These aren't loopholes or shady deductions. They are incentives deliberately built into the system to encourage entrepreneurship and capital deployment. The wealthy understand this fundamental principle and structure their financial affairs accordingly. At the heart of their strategy lies a concept known as buy, borrow, die. This isn't just a catchy phrase, it's a comprehensive wealth-building philosophy that leverages the power of asset appreciation, tax-free borrowing, and strategic estate planning. The buy, borrow, die strategy is key to understanding how the wealthy maintain and grow their fortunes across generations. First, they buy assets. Not just any assets, but carefully selected investments that have the potential to appreciate significantly over time. This could include real estate, stocks, bonds, or even valuable collectibles. The key is to acquire assets that generate long-term value and provide a solid foundation for future wealth accumulation. Next, they borrow against them tax-free. Instead of selling their appreciated assets and incurring capital gains taxes, they use them as collateral to secure loans. This allows them to access cash without triggering a taxable event. The borrowed funds can then be used for further investments, business ventures, or even personal expenses, all while their assets continue to grow. Finally, they pass them to heirs with minimal taxes. Through careful estate planning, they ensure that their wealth is transferred to the next generation with as little tax burden as possible. This often involves strategies such as trusts, gifting, and other legal mechanisms designed to minimize estate taxes and preserve family wealth for generations to come. As long as they don't sell, the assets remain untouched, continuing to appreciate in value. This is a crucial element of the strategy. Their wealth compounds without tax erosion, growing exponentially over time. The power of compounding, combined with the avoidance of capital gains taxes, creates a powerful engine for wealth creation. This allows their initial investments to generate even greater returns, further accelerating their wealth accumulation. Need cash? They borrow against their assets. This provides them with a readily available source of funds without having to liquidate their investments. Because loans aren't taxed as income, this strategy allows them to access capital without incurring any immediate tax liabilities. This is a significant advantage that allows them to reinvest and grow their wealth even further. When they die, heirs inherit assets at current value, thanks to the step-up in basis. This erases decades of capital gains taxes, effectively resetting the tax clock for the next generation. This is one of the most powerful wealth transfer strategies available, allowing families to pass on their fortunes with minimal tax implications. This isn't a loophole or some kind of tax evasion scheme. It's simply how the system is designed. It's a set of rules and incentives that are available to anyone who takes the time to understand them. The wealthy play by the rules, just like everyone else. But they know the rules better than anyone, and they use that knowledge to their advantage. They invest in financial education, seek expert advice, and stay informed about changes in the tax code. And the good news is, anyone can start learning these strategies. You don't need to be a billionaire to begin building wealth and taking advantage of the tax benefits available to investors and business owners. The playbook is public. The information is out there, readily available to anyone who is willing to seek it out, but most people just never open it, remaining unaware of the opportunities that lie within. They miss out on the chance to build wealth, minimize taxes, and secure their financial future. You don't need billions to invest like a billionaire. The secret? Long-term ownership and patience. Billionaires buy quality assets and hold for years, ignoring market noise. They diversify, owning businesses or, for regular people, index funds. An S&P 500 index fund gives you instant diversification, just like the pros. They minimize fees and taxes, letting compounding do the heavy lifting. Low-cost, long-term investing is the billionaire way, accessible to anyone. Discipline, not dollars, is what matters most. We're taught from a young age to fear debt, to see it as a burden, a weight around our necks. We're told to avoid it at all costs, to pay everything off as quickly as possible, and to live a debt-free life. This message is pervasive in our society, ingrained in our minds from childhood. But billionaires, the individuals who have mastered the art of wealth creation, see debt in a completely different light. They don't fear it. They see it as a tool, a powerful instrument that can be used to build empires and generate massive wealth. They understand that debt, when used strategically, can be a catalyst for financial growth. Of course, not all debt is created equal. There's bad debt, the kind that drains your resources and offers little to no return. This includes things like high-interest credit cards, where you're essentially borrowing money to buy things you don't really need, often at exorbitant rates. Car loans, especially for depreciating assets, also fall into this category. While a car might be necessary for transportation, it loses value over time, making the loan a liability rather than an investment. Then there's good debt, the kind that can actually make you richer. This is debt that's strategically used to acquire appreciating assets, things that increase in value over time. These assets generate income or appreciate in value, ultimately increasing your net worth. Real estate is a prime example of an appreciating asset that can be acquired with good debt. Good debt allows you to control bigger assets than you could afford with just your own savings. It's about leveraging other people's money to expand your financial horizons. This means you can acquire assets with less of your own money tied up, freeing up capital for other investments or opportunities. This is the power of leverage, using borrowed capital to amplify your returns. It's a fundamental principle in wealth building. Let's illustrate with an example. Imagine you use $20,000 as a down payment on a $100,000 property. You've effectively controlled an asset 5 times the value of your initial investment. Now, if that property rises in value by just 10%, you gain $10,000 in equity. That's a 50% return on your initial cash investment of $20,000. This demonstrates the power of leverage in action. The wealthy understand this principle intimately. They consistently use debt to buy businesses, acquiring companies that generate cash flow and appreciate in value, real estate, investing in properties that provide rental income and long-term appreciation, and other investments, strategically allocating capital to assets with high growth potential. They profit handsomely from the spread between their borrowing costs and the returns generated by these assets. This is financial arbitrage at its finest. The key to using debt effectively is to only use it for acquiring high-quality assets. Assets that consistently generate income or have a strong potential to appreciate in value over time. For most people, starting with a sensible mortgage on a primary residence is a good first step, or exploring opportunities in investment properties can be a pathway to building wealth. The crucial distinction is to avoid using debt for frivolous consumer spending. Debt, in and of itself, isn't the enemy. It's a tool, like any other. The real enemy is ignorance about debt, a lack of understanding of how it works and how to use it effectively. Learn to use debt wisely, to leverage it for strategic investments, and it can dramatically accelerate your path to wealth and financial freedom. The right kind of debt, the debt that fuels growth and generates returns, is often a billionaire's best friend, a key ingredient in their recipe for success. Billionaires aren't employees, they're owners. They build and control businesses, earning from the work of others and the value of their systems. Ownership means unlimited upside, tax advantages, and control over income. Employees trade time for money, owners build machines that generate wealth 24/7. You don't need to start the next Amazon owning stocks or a small business counts. Every share you buy makes you a part owner. The goal, shift from earning to owning, even on a small scale. Ownership is the real wealth engine. Start building your own. It takes money to make money is a myth that keeps people stuck. The real starting point is value skills, ideas, or services others will pay for. Many billionaires started with nothing but an idea and hustle. Learn a high-value skill, freelance, or start a side business to generate your first capital. Use that income to invest and acquire assets. You can also leverage other people's money like bank loans or investors if you have a valuable proposition. Don't focus on what you lack. Focus on what you can create. Value, not cash, is the true foundation of wealth. Building wealth isn't about secret societies. It's about changing your mindset. The rich play by the same rules, but they know the game better. Prioritize assets, use debt wisely, and master the tax code. You don't need a huge salary or inheritance, just a willingness to learn and act. Start small, invest, budget, and build your financial literacy. Wealth is a project, not a lottery ticket. The principles of ownership, leverage, and long-term thinking are available to anyone. Your financial future is yours to create. Start writing your own rules today.